Hi, I'm Steve Erickson from the MidlifeSolopreneur.com.
And I'm Jake Erickson from FlowCampaigns.com.
So this is our daily debrief, and we're doing this for several different reasons. We get to practice speaking in front of a microphone and being coherent and not stumbling on our words.
Well, we try to.
We'll try to. And you get to hear some of the things that we are working on and our thoughts around them.
Yeah.
So
Today,
today,
we usually share some tips and strategies as well that you can implement in your business.
absolutely. So today is the 12th of August, which is day number
17
indeed.
of the podcast.
Yes. So what have we worked on today, Jake?
So today we've been mostly preparing for an event that you're doing tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So at a joint venture group that you're a part of, you're presenting a masterclass on lead magnets.
Yeah.
And tell me, how did you come to have that opportunity? And I guess what's the rationale behind doing something like that?
Well, so here's the interesting thing with the community that I belong to is that a lot of the people in the community are ideal clients for me. So I've identified a community that I really get on with actually being in. I can contribute a lot of value as a trusted advisor, and also I can get clients. And one of the things that the community is looking for is high quality content that they can give to their members, so they are seen as a valuable community. Mm-hmm. So for me, it was a case of going to the organizer, the coach within the community, and really saying, "Hey, I can do a class on this, and what do you think?" And the feedback was like, "Yeah, fantastic! If you can do that, that would be absolutely awesome." So that's what we're doing. Yeah. So it's a Lead Magnet Masterclass that we've been working on, because it's ideal for that particular client audience. And one of the things you need to think about is when you're speaking to an audience, are you hitting what the audience is interested in hearing about and learning about? Mm-hmm. And in this particular community, being joint venture partners, being affiliate partners, lead magnets is a big part of that community and having to offer. Yeah. And being able to go and saying, "Hey, I know a lot about lead magnets and some of the members don't know so much about them. I can go and teach," means that I have the opportunity to show what I actually know about lead magnets. I have the opportunity to be seen as a trusted advisor and an authority in front of that audience. Yeah. And that's just helping me, and it's helping the community. So it's a win-win.
Well, it's a win-win-win, really. I mean, everyone is benefiting. So obviously the audience will actually hopefully learn something useful. I mean, we're packing it full of information that is, good quality stuff. And that's another thing that's important is if you are sharing good information, or if you are sharing free information, I should say, make it good. Yeah. Make sure it's things that people actually want to listen to. Because the worst thing is when you share something and people look at it and go, "No, this isn't very good. I'm not going to check this person out or see the rest of their stuff." And that's the thing that a lot of people are hesitant of when sharing free content is they'll say, "Oh, I don't want to give away my best advice for free." Yeah. But the issue is if you never give away good advice, people are never going to check you out and find out the rest of what you have to offer.
Absolutely.
So not only is it a win for the audience, they're learning something. Mm-hmm. It's a win for you. You get to, again, show your expertise, speak in front of your ideal clients, and it's a win for the community, the hosts of the community, because as you said, they get extra content that they can share with their members. It's a similar thing, think of something like Netflix, for instance. Netflix will acquire content to show to its members so people stay with a Netflix membership for longer. And the more great content that the community can keep sharing gives people more incentive to stay members of that community and pay their renewal fees next year, for instance. So absolutely, everyone is winning in this case. And it's really the same kind of rationale as appearing on a podcast. Appearing on a podcast is free publicity for you. It's beneficial for the audience, and the podcast host benefits as well because they have content. Absolutely. So they're able to keep reaching their listeners as well. Yeah. So really, I think that's a great takeaway, great piece of advice here. Yeah, absolutely. And has some added benefits. Of course, we're putting really a lot of time and effort. I mean, this is taking us hours to do a 45-minute to 90-minute presentation masterclass on this, and takes us hours to do. But we will be able to reuse this. Mm-hmm. I am going to package it as a product, and I'm going to sell it for $97 on my website. Yep, right? Exactly. So it becomes a paid content later. You can also take elements out of it and share on a YouTube channel or share on your podcast. So what we'll probably do is in the next few days, we'll share one of the some of the highlights from this particular masterclass on this podcast. And so think about how you can repurpose it, put it on your website and create a lot more awareness of you and your services. So really try to deliver so much value in these kind of situations. Cool. And what I wanted to talk about today is kind of a mini rant. As I've been working on this, whereas you've been producing a lot of the content, for me, it's been a lot of the formatting and styling of the presentation itself.
Yeah.
And a pet peeve of mine is when someone has a product or like an info product. So they're selling a course or they're selling some materials, and it just doesn't look very good. They've opened up PowerPoints, they're just typing in text, and they haven't really bothered to format it, or they haven't checked their spelling, for instance. And the slides just kind of look very bare. And for me, that's a big pet peeve, because while the content may be good, to me, it indicates a really like a lack of care, a lack of interest. They've just put this together. They didn't even bother to read through it again. They're just shipping this off. And to me, it seems like it's something that people don't really care about. I think when you're doing as you're doing, having a beta course where you're caring more about the content and getting people's reactions, then it's fine. We don't want to spend a lot of time creating a very nice looking product. We care more about, is the information in this actually good? But then when you're actually going out and this is one of your main products that you're selling, to continue to be putting out a bad project, for me, indicates a lack of care. And, we use PowerPoint for creating the slideshow. And creating a nice looking PowerPoint, if you actually know what you're doing, 20 minutes it takes to set up the template, and then all your slides are in that format from then on. And I guess my advice here is, we believe a lot in the 80-20 rule. You focus on the high value activities, and you let the other stuff kind of slide because there's other things that need to be prioritized. But at the same time, it's worth you looking, where can I spend an extra 10 minutes that really improves the quality of this?
Makes a big impact.
Makes a big impact. And this is taken from a career in consulting. I was at BCG for 2 years, a major consulting firm, and clients spend millions and millions of dollars on consultants and getting the information. And one of the main things we do is create pretty looking PowerPoint slides. And that's not to minimize the amount of work we do in creating the content for that. But when a client, a lot of hours. But when a client is spending a lot of money and you're presenting something that doesn't look very good, they kind of go, this just doesn't live up to what I was expecting. The same thing if someone's spending thousands on a course and it looks like it was typed up in 10 minutes. Like, well, where is my value really going? So actually, you can liken this to if you have a store, clearing up in front of your store, making sure that your sign is freshly painted, making sure that the floors are swept. It's not the incremental thing that is adding to your business. Like, no one's necessarily going to buy because of that, but it's part of the overall experience. And it's symbolizing that quality. And that's what I think is really important is, take a look in your business and see, where can you actually spend, a little bit of time sprucing it up a little bit to make it more appealing.
And I think it's worth emphasizing here, we're not talking about having a shop front and turning it into a luxury store with like being really, really pretty. We're talking about like clearing the rubbish outside and making sure it's clean inside and looks decent.
Like if you have windows, make sure the windows are washed so you can see through them and see the products. It's things like painting the sign, fixing the lettering. Or, if you're selling a digital product or so, it's putting that little bit of extra effort in to really show that you're caring for your customers and clients. And, I think that's a mini rant from my end, just because I've, been doing this for a living for several years. And I've seen even like a little bit of extra time can really change people's perceptions on the quality or the value is. Because, read through great stuff and I'm looking at this going, wow, this is completely bare bones. It's boring to read. My attention is going because I'm not, visually captivated by this.
I guess the equivalent also is like, would you turn up to a client meeting in a battered old car that has dents in the side? Well, if you do, it looks like you're not very professional when you arrive.
Or exactly, or just you're wearing a suit, but your shirt isn't tucked in. The equivalent of that, it's not going to change the value of what you're presenting, but it's a distraction more than a compliment. And actually creating a sleek design that fits in kind of with your overall aesthetic, that's not, all over the place. You don't want to be putting in like a lot of animations or anything like that.
Oh no.
But you don't want like things flying across the screen when you're trying to present. But putting a little bit of attention to detail in actually does go a long way. And so I think that's my piece of advice for today is see where you can spend an extra 10-20 minutes polishing up something you're doing to just give it that little extra bit of quality. It could be something simple as if you're presenting on camera, making sure you're cleaning up your background. If you're presenting in front of a messy background, that can be distracting for your audience. If you're presenting in front of like a clean bookshelf or an empty hallway that is just, bare, then it actually signals to your audience that you've put effort in. You're thinking about how you're appearing on camera.
Yeah.
And it goes noticed, I think.
It's noticed, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your rant.
Of course. Anytime. Anytime you want me to rant, I'm here for it.
I am sure you are.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for listening. I think that's all we have for today.
Yep,
and
that's it for today.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.